Bloomfield Higher Secondary School Zunebotalaga Hinoli Zhimo pra itubar NBSc HSLC exam de Sumi language subject de top krishe 98 marks score kurigina. Itu accomplishment pra tai khali institution de naam bhal anya nohoigina Nagaland de indigenous language education kiman zaruri thaka ase itu dikhaise. Tai pra Sumi language tailaka focus subject kuriado cultural identity de भावना कुरिगिना फैसला उठा कुशे ताई किंतु कुशे प्रोनाउंसिएशन दे दिगदार लगी थैसे होली भी प्रैक्टिस कुरिगिना पारी जैसे कुशे स्कूल लगा वाइस प्रिंसिपल और सब्जेक्ट टीचर सुनोन जी जिमो प्रा हिनोली लगा डेडिकेशन और क्यूरियोसिटी के लॉट कुरिशे प्रिंसिपल हेकातो सेमा प्रा जनाइशे सुमी सब्जेक्ट दो स्कूल दे 2021 प्रा शुरू कुरिलुशे और क्लास 9 प्रा हायर सेकेंडरी लेवल तक पुरियसी.
Thank you so much for giving your time to the media fraternity. Today we are joined by Miss Hinoli Zhimo, HSLC, sits at topper with a total mark of 98, and along with her we have Sir Sumi Zhimo, Vice Principal of Bloomfield Hill Schools in Ecuador. Thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations, Miss Hinoli, on being the Sumi subject topper. So, what was your first reaction when you saw the result?
Firstly, I give my heartfelt gratitude to our Almighty God for giving me safe and sound under His loving guidance. Secondly, I give my utmost respect to the end for sparing your valuable time and giving me this platform to have an interactive session with you all. I give my heartfelt gratitude to our principal sir and my respected teachers for helping me and supporting me. Well, I'm Hinoli Zhimo from this new village. Thank you for your compliments. I feel really excited and happy when I get the results.
Okay, Miss Hinoli, so as we all know that the result was declared one day ahead as per the schedule.
Yes.
So, who was the first person you shared this achievement?
The first person to whom I shared my achievement was my mother. I get to know that the result was declared earlier before the scheduled date from my teachers.
Can you describe your preparation strategies specifically for SITA subject, which you have taught?
I don't have a specific time to study the subject. I studied the subjects only when the homeworks were given.
So, was there any specific areas, grammar, literature, or writing you focus more on?
I focused more on Leshe.
Quite true.
Yeah.
What challenges did you face while preparing, and how did you overcome such? I hope you might have so many struggles and all these obstacles on the way. So if you can kindly walk us through your challenges and how did you overcome such?
A few challenges that I faced was unable to pronounce the words correctly.
So how important is it for you to excel in your mother tongue?
It is very important as to preserve the culture, and as a Sumi, we feel really proud and honored when we are fluent in speaking and writing our own language.
Okay. And as a subject or in a specific area, and also you being from the Sumi community, do you think students today are giving enough importance to indigenous language like Sumi?
I think so, yes, because even other institutions are also taking up the subject matter of Sumi.
And coming back to the support system, I would like to raise some few questions. How did your subject teacher guide you in achieving this milestone? Whom do you give this credit to?
I give this credit to my subject teacher, Srike, my parents, and the school.
Okay, thank you so much, Miss Hinoli. As a subject topper in Sumi language, subject, what is one study habit that made the biggest difference in your preparation?
Hostel life.
So you were indeed in the hostel. Okay. What advice would you like to give to other students who wants to excel in SITA like you?
Put God first. Since God help those who help themselves.
Okay, so moving forward, do you plan to continue studying Sumi or related field in the future? Do you have different paths?
I'm planning to study Sumi.
Okay. And what is your long-term aspiration?
My long-term aspiration is to take up Sumi even in further studies.
Okay, thank you so much. We'll do a quick bites on some questions. One word to describe this moment.
Excited.
Excited. And who do you dedicate this success to?
I dedicated this success to my parents, my teachers, and the school.
Sumi in one sentence.
Warriors.
Warriors. Thank you so much, Miss Hinoli. Now we'll come back to Sir Hinoli Zhimo, Vice Principal of Bloomfield Hill Schools in Eboto. Okay, sir. How proud are you to see your students emerge as the Sumi subject for overall Nagaland conducted by the Nagaland Board of School Education?
First and foremost, thank you so much, Hinoli TV, for sparing your valuable time coming here for the media coverage and to have an interactive session with you all. So, with immense pride, I should say, sitting a student who has already taught the subject, that is Sumi, and who is going to receive a governor's award. So, me myself, I wish during our time, if such subject called our Sumi, such a subject were introduced in a private school where I have already completed, I wish to be one of a student like her who taught this very subject. I should say I'm very excited being sitting close to her.
Okay. So, sir, what was your first reaction when you heard about the result? Do you ever expected that such surprises will come to the institution or to the teachers?
I was euphoric hearing getting the news that my student topped the subject in Sumi, but at the same time I was also not happy. Not happier in the sense our school didn't get 100%. So that was one of the sad news. At the meantime, imbibed with a good news, that is being taught the subject in Sumi.
Okay, sir. As a Sumi subject teacher, what teaching methods or strategies do you use to prepare students for Sumi?
On a daily basis, since to teach a student, the foremost important thing that a teacher should know is we should be a student first. So coming up with the subject Sumi, which is our own dialect, our student, most of our students, I should say, they are not interested. They don't put much effort on the subject matter called Sita, because it is we tend to use on a daily basis, so they don't give much interest on it. So the challenges that I faced, teaching Sita to them is I always encourage them, saying that we are lagging behind because we do not know how to speak well and how to write well our own dialect. So I used to encourage them, if you want to speak good English, let's say, if you want to be fluent in English, you and I should first be equipped with our own mother tongue, and that is Sitsa. So encouraging them with this kind of a thing, I used to prepare myself, those guttural sound in the subject matter, and those leche, I used to prepare myself first so that I equip myself well, and then come in front of them and teach them how those things work, and how what is the subject matter, and how can we be good at SITA. Those things, the challenges that I used to face.
Okay, so sir, what makes Hinoli subject topper of Sumi stand out as students, and what qualities did you observe in her that contributed to her success?
I was alumni of this institution. I taught here for couple of 4.5 years. Then I left the school. It was last year that I joined. I was not a subject teacher of SITA last year. I joined in the month of December first week. Then since our previous subject teacher, Sir Hike, he left the institution, this institution, for the academic session 2026. So as and when I joined this institution, encountering her as one of my students, she has a zeal. She has a zeal to learn the subject matter SITA, and she is very curious to know new things, with special reference to the subject SITA, especially guttural sound, where she finds difficulty in pronouncing. So I help her out, especially the diacritic things, grave note and all. I usually guide him. So when I deal with her in this kind of a thing, I find in her that she has a quality. Since a student having zealness to learn, there is nothing and no one can stop his or her success. So she has that quality that I see in her.
Okay, sir, as a Sumi language teacher, how important is to promote Sumi language in schools today?
As far as I'm concerned regarding this topic, I should say that all the private school, since we have an optional subject, that optional, I want the institution, private institution, to omit that and put Sumi as a mandatory subject, so that we can preserve our culture. Preserving our culture, the only role that we can play as a private teacher and as a private school teacher is make the subject matter mandatory, so that our student will be very much equipped with how to speak well and how to write well SITA. So that's the only thing that as of now I can think of, to make the subject matter mandatory, not an optional.
Okay. Which is SITA.
Which is SITA, yes.
And I hope and believe that you might be aware that the schools, the students are not only from the Sumi community. So
Yes,
how
yes.
do we cope with that?
See, it's nothing like bias. An institution should not be run based on bias thing. But I should say that if we there will be a student, if the institution provide a subject matter that he she wants to pursue. So a student will, if the institution made subject mandatory as a mandatory subject, those students who don't feel like to take up Sumi will go in search of other institution. I should say that is fair enough. So we should not look into quantity of a student. We should not focus into quantity of a student, but we should have a foresight, strike with visionary. That is having a quality education.
Okay. What advice would you like to give to students aiming to excel in Sumi?
Pardon?
What advice would you like to give to the students who want to excel in Sumi language?
To excel in Sumi, I should say we should not make Sumi as an optional. That's one most important thing. If you want to excel in Sumi, there are so many interesting things in a subject matter. I should say that we have even an extra alphabet. Come on. So that also gives another interesting thing about the subject matter. So consistency in learning the subject. Consistency in learning the subject, and when a student consistently practice how to speak and how to write, definitely he will top the subject.
Okay, thank you so much, sir, for your information and for your insights. Last but not the least,
Yes.
what message would you like to give to other teachers? As a Sumi language teacher.
The message that I want to convey to all the Sumi language teacher is to preserve our culture and our identity. The foremost important thing is letting our student to know the importance of our own dialect. That is, let them be well equipped in speaking and writing. Emphasize more on speaking and writing rather than learning other fictitious story, which we call it Hslc or those things. Focus on the alphabetical, which we call Yatsa, and speaking, those things. I want to convey a message to all the Sumi dedicated teachers.
Any last message to our viewers from any one of you?
Yes, anything? From my side, I should say, like our topper has already stated, put God first, because He is the creator. He gives all, and He takes all at the end of the day. So we should always put God first, and you play your own role, God will play His own role. For God helps those who help themselves. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Well, first of all, thank you, media fraternity, for being here with us today. I am extremely delighted to be here to present a few words to the media fraternity. Well, by the grace of God, we were the toppers in the Hslc, in the recently declared HSLC exams 2026. This is the second time we are in the topper list. Back in the year 2023, we have a student by the name Hotoli A. Asimi, who was the topper in this particular subject. And in the year 2026, it's Miss Hinoli Zhimo who got the topper in the Hslc subject. So we are extremely delighted, and we will also keep trying our best to promote Hslc.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. The school has earlier produced a Sumi subject topper as well, as you have rightly stated. So, being one of the first private school to implement such a subject as a subject, what inspired you as a school administrator to move on with this decision? And when was this such a subject implemented in the school?
Well, Bloomfield Hill Higher Secondary Zinaboto must be the first private higher secondary to start this modern Indian language, Hslc, as a subject in the higher secondary level. Back in the year 2021, we started Hslc at class 9. Then in the year 2022, our students, the first batch, appeared the HSLC exam. Now we also have a Hslc at higher secondary level. Though we were not lucky enough to get a topper this year, but we will be trying our level best. Back in the year 2007 or 8, our students got the privilege to present the folk dance competition at the state level, where my boys won the first prize. Then in the following years, we also started folk dance practices, where we started giving importance to the cultural activities like folk dance, folk songs, and in the recent years, we also used to organize the cultural day in the schools. So when we take up the cultural activities, we feel that the language must be given much importance. And that's the reason why we decided to start the Hslc as a subject in our school. It is not only the Bloomfield Hill Higher Secondary, but I like to invite my fellow educationists, the private school proprietors, to take up the Hslc in their institutions so that we can bring up Hslc together. Because Hslc being our identity, we will have to preserve it. So, like I said, I want to invite the other proprietors and the fellow educationists to start Hslc in their schools so that together we can bring up the Hslc. Right now in my institution, we are taking Hslc at a secondary and higher secondary level. But if the books are available, I am thinking of starting the Hslc in the coming years, right from standard 1. Preserving our culture should be our top priority, and in order to preserve our culture, the root is the language. So we will have to give much importance to our Hslc, and that's the reason why, as I said before, it's not only in the secondary and higher secondary section, but I am thinking of starting Hslc right from standard 1. Well, I want to thank my subject teachers. They give their best. They really sacrificed. Now in producing the toppers, we also had orientation classes sometimes. We invited the experts from the Hslc Academy. Also, we sometimes take the help of the Hslc experts, and together with the teachers, we could produce this good result. And even in the future, we will keep trying for this. Well, this success is not only for her, but it's going to be the success for the whole Bloomfield Hill family. Luckily, she is willing to study in this institution again. So let's hope that she comes out in flying colors, even in the 12th standard. We have promised the toppers a free admission and a free books. So she'll be getting a free admission, free books, where it will be a sort of encouragement for the other students also. It is not only Miss Hinoli who got the topper, but her friend also came up with 96 marks in this particular subject. The topper is with 98 marks. So, as I said, her friend got 96 and another friend is with 93 marks. So we see a lot of improvement in this subject. Well, if all of us can be together, it is not only in my institution, but I can see the bright future of many Sumi students. So if all private schools give importance to this subject and take up this subject, then we can produce a lot of talented students in this subject. Well, I want to tell my people that we should give our top priority to our language. We might be expert in the other languages, but if we are not up to the expectation in our own root language, then we don't see a very bright future. So, in order to make our future bright, we should all give top priority to our Hslc. Only then the Hslc will continue to grow.
Okay, thank you so much, sir, for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.